Hello, I am DrLeoVitas, and this is Xenovitas, where we explore longevity, anti-aging, and biohacking. Most of the time, your body works quietly in the background. Cells divide, repair happens, signals travel, life flows. But there is a moment, often many years before the last breath, when the internal clock gets louder, reserves start to shrink. Recovery after a stress takes longer. Small events, like a fall or an infection, create larger waves. The body is telling a story. It is saying, I am not broken, but my margin is thinner. Death is not the opposite of life. It is the final chapter of a process that has been running since the day you were born. Understanding that chapter does not have to create fear. It can actually bring clarity to how you live now. In this episode, we are going to talk about how the body changes as the end of life approaches. Not in a dramatic, mystical way, but in a biological, measurable way. My goal is not to scare you. It is to show you how this process works, and how understanding it can help you live better in the years you do have, and care better for the people you love. Aging versus dying. Two different processes. We first need to separate two ideas that often get mixed together: aging and dying. Aging is the gradual change in structure and function that occurs over time. It includes things like slower cell division, increased wear on tissues, changes in hormones, and shifts in the immune system. Aging begins early in life and never really stops. Dying is a much narrower phase. It is the period in which the body can no longer fully recover its previous level of function after stress. Systems lose resilience. A person may still be alive and conscious, but their capacity to bounce back from challenges is reduced. A healthy 70-year-old who recovers quickly from a surgery is aging, but not actively dying. A frail 70-year-old whose body fails to recover after a simple infection or a small fracture is in a different phase. Understanding this distinction helps you see that many signals we will talk about are not about predicting the exact day of death. They are about recognizing when resilience is shrinking. Organ reserve, the hidden safety margin. Every major system in your body has something called reserve. Your heart can pump harder when you climb stairs. Your kidneys can filter more when they need to. Your liver can handle extra toxins. Your muscles can generate more force when you lift something heavy. You rarely use 100% of their capacity. With time, and with accumulated damage from life, that reserve shrinks. The organs still work in daily life, but the distance between their usual activity and their maximum possible activity becomes smaller. For many years, this reduction in reserve is invisible. A person feels normal at rest, but when a stress arrives, such as an illness, surgery, heat wave, or emotional shock, the system has less extra power to respond. When doctors talk about frailty, they are often talking about low reserve. The body is still functioning, but the safety margin is thin. This is one of the ways the body shows that it is closer to the end of its capacity than to the beginning. Cellular wear and repair slowing down. At the microscopic level, your cells are constantly balancing damage and repair. Every day, DNA is nicked and repaired. Proteins get misfolded and recycled. Mitochondria, the energy factories, are refreshed or removed. In youth, repair systems are usually strong enough to keep up with the damage. With advancing age, and with chronic stressors like inflammation, toxins, and metabolic strain, the balance shifts. Damage accumulates faster. Repair becomes less precise. Some cells enter states where they no longer divide or function optimally, but they do not die either. They linger and send out distress signals. This slow drift in cellular quality does not announce itself loudly, but over time, it contributes to weaker tissues, slower recovery, and greater vulnerability to diseases. It is one layer of the message the body sends as the end of its life approaches. You cannot stop every form of cellular aging, but choices across decades can influence how quickly or slowly this balance tilts. The nervous system and frailty. Your nervous system is more than thoughts and memories. It also controls balance, muscle activation, reflexes, and the coordination of movement. As people approach the last phase of life, it is common to see slower walking speed, difficulty getting up from a chair, reduced grip strength, and more frequent falls. These changes come from a mix of weaker muscles, slower nerve conduction, and less precise coordination between brain and body. Falls are not just accidents. In older adults, a fall can be a sign that the system that kept the body upright for decades is losing strength. A single fall can trigger a cascade: fear of moving, less activity, more weakness, and a further drop in reserve. For the body, this is a clear signal. It is saying, I cannot handle the same challenges with the same safety margin. In many studies, gait speed and physical frailty are among the strongest predictors of mortality. This is one way the body shows that it knows its limits. Immune system. From defense to vulnerability. The immune system also changes as life goes on. With age, some parts of the immune system become less responsive to new threats. It becomes harder to mount an effective defense against new infections or to respond strongly to vaccines. At the same time, low-grade inflammation can remain high, creating a background of chronic irritation. This combination of weaker defense and higher background inflammation makes older bodies more vulnerable. A simple virus that would cause a few days of discomfort in a younger adult can cause serious complications in someone whose immune reserve is low. Repeated infections, slow healing wounds, or frequent hospitalizations for infections can be signals that the immune system is nearing the limits of what it can handle. Again, this does not mean we can predict exact dates. It means the body is showing clear signs that its defenses are tired. Metabolism and energy decline. Energy is another area where the body quietly reveals its trajectory. Mitochondria, the structures inside cells that produce energy, tend to become less efficient with age and with chronic disease. Muscles lose mass and strength, especially if they are not used regularly. Hormonal changes affect how we process fuel. Many people notice this as a deeper kind of tiredness. It is not just being sleepy after a long day. It is a sense that effort costs more, recovery takes longer, and there is less power in reserve. In later stages, people may lose weight without trying, feel exhausted after minor activities, or spend much more time seated or in bed. The body is simplifying its tasks, focusing energy on essential functions, and reducing non-essential activity. This is another sign that it is nearing its limits. Brain, cognition, and terminal decline. The brain also shows patterns as death approaches. Some people experience a gradual decline in memory or thinking over years, related to diseases like Alzheimer's or vascular damage. Others stay clear until quite late, but even in those who are relatively stable, there is often a sharper drop in cognitive function in the last months or years of life. Researchers sometimes call this terminal decline. A person who is managing complex tasks may suddenly struggle with simple ones. Conversations may become shorter. Attention may wander. The person may sleep more and speak less. These changes are not always obvious day to day, especially for family members who adapt slowly to each new normal. But when viewed over time, the brain is signaling that it is stepping back from its full range of functions. It is another part of the body as quiet preparation for exit. Appetite, sleep, and social withdrawal. As the body moves closer to death, basic rhythms change. Appetite often declines. The person may feel full after very small portions or lose interest in food altogether. This is not just a matter of will. The body may no longer want to spend energy on digestion and growth when it knows, in a sense, that its long-term project is ending. Sleep patterns change too. Many people sleep more hours, but the sleep may be lighter or more fragmented. They may spend more time resting in bed or in a chair, even during the day. Socially, some people become quieter. They may withdraw from larger groups, prefer brief visits, or seem to turn inward. This can be influenced by fatigue, pain, medications, and mood. But it can also be part of a natural process of detaching from constant external demands. These signals can be painful for families to witness, but from a biological perspective, they are part of the body and brain simplifying their work as they move toward closure. What doctors look at. Clinical signals. Clinicians, especially those who work in geriatrics or palliative care, pay attention to certain patterns that suggest a person is in the last phase of life. They look at unintentional weight loss, repeated hospitalizations, frequent infections, and how much help a person needs with basic activities like bathing, dressing, or walking. They assess walking speed, grip strength, and how often the person ends up in bed for most of the day. They also review organ function, heart, lungs, kidneys, and liver. They ask how long it takes to recover after a health event. They listen to the family's story about changes over the last 6 months or year, not only the last week. None of these signs alone can predict the exact timing of death. But together, they paint a picture of a body whose reserves are nearly used up. Part of the work of medicine is to recognize this and adjust goals. From trying to add more years at any cost, to trying to add more comfort and meaning to the time that remains. Sudden death versus gradual decline. Not all deaths follow a long, visible decline. Some are sudden, for example due to an accident or a massive heart event in a person who seemed relatively well. In those cases, the body did not have time to send many of the gradual signals we have discussed. The internal reserves may have been reduced, but the final event was abrupt. In many other cases, especially in older age or with chronic illness, death is the final step of a long slope. The signals are there. Slower walking, more fatigue, more time in bed, less appetite, repeated illnesses, and a growing need for help. Understanding that there are different pathways to death can help us avoid false assumptions. Not everyone has a long decline, but when the decline is present, paying attention to it can open space for important conversations and better planning. What we can influence earlier in life. We cannot choose the exact day or hour when life ends, but we can influence how much resilience we bring into the later years. Movement, nutrition, sleep, and how we manage stress all shape the health of our organs, our muscles, our immune system, and our brain. Avoiding tobacco, moderating alcohol, and managing conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes reduce the burden on the body over decades. Building and maintaining muscle through regular strength work gives you more physical reserve. Protecting your heart and blood vessels through lifestyle and, when needed, medication preserves your circulation. Supporting your brain through learning, social connection, and metabolic health may slow cognitive decline. None of this makes you immortal, but it changes the shape of the curve. It can mean more years in which you are aging but still resilient, and a shorter, gentler final decline. When signals appear, how to respond. What should you do if you notice some of the signals we have talked about in yourself or in someone you love? The first step is not panic. Many of these signs have multiple possible causes. Tiredness, weight loss, or weakness, for example, can be influenced by medications, mood, or specific diseases that are treatable. The second step is to bring these observations to a health professional who can look at the whole picture. Describe the changes over time, not only the latest symptom. Ask clear questions about prognosis, options, and what to expect. The third step, when it becomes clear that reserve is very low and unlikely to return, is to shift focus. Instead of asking only, "How do we stop death?" you can ask, "How do we reduce suffering, support dignity, and respect the person's values in the time that remains?" The body is telling you that it is tired. Listening to that message can lead to kinder choices. The psychological dimension. The approach of death is not only a biological event. It is also psychological, social, and spiritual. Some people, as their body weakens, experience fear. Others feel relief that the struggle may soon end. Some review their life, reconciling relationships or unfinished conversations. Others focus on small daily pleasures, a song, a voice, a hand to hold. Families may be in a different emotional place than the person who is dying. It is common for loved ones to want more treatment when the person is ready to rest, or for the person to want more time when the family is exhausted. There is no easy formula. What biology can give us is a clearer sense of where we are on the path. When we see that the body is truly near the end, we can shift our questions. Instead of, "How do we fight this?" We can ask, how do we support this person and ourselves through a human experience that all of us will face one day? Meaning in the last phase. Knowing that the body has entered the last phase of life can change how time feels. For some, it becomes a period of intense presence where small moments carry great weight. A conversation that might once have been delayed becomes important now. A walk to the window, a shared meal, or a quiet hour together take on deeper meaning. For others, it is a time to simplify, to let go of roles, tasks, or expectations that no longer matter. The body is simplifying its work. The mind and the heart may want to do the same. This does not remove pain or sadness, but it can create space for gratitude, for forgiveness, and for a kind of clarity that is rare in other phases of life. In this sense, the body as signals that death is near are also invitations to live the remaining time more honestly. Conclusion. What is the next? The body often knows that death is near long before a date is written on any document. It shows this not through one dramatic sign, but through a pattern. Shrinking reserves, slower recovery, more dependence, quieter days. Death is part of the cycle of life, not a failure of it. When we see it that way, the signals the body sends are not only warnings, they are invitations to use our remaining time with more honesty and more care. We do not talk about this often because it is uncomfortable, but understanding these signals can help you make better choices while you are still strong, and better support those who are nearing the edge of their strength. If this episode gave you a clearer view of the last phase of life, please give it a like. It helps this kind of calm, science-based content reach more people. If you want to keep exploring how the body ages, adapts, and prepares for change, subscribe to Xenovitas and turn on notifications. In the comments, you are welcome to share one question you still have about this topic, or one experience that changed how you think about the end of life. Take care of your present body, and be gentle with the bodies that are nearing their rest. I will see you in the next video.